Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Panther News. I'm Savannah.
And I'm Ella. Today is Wednesday, December 5th, 2018.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for our school pledge.
We pledge respect for our teachers, loyalty to our school, and trust in our fellow students so we may learn, grow, and succeed. Please pause for the moment of silence.
For lunch today, we will be having spaghetti and meat sauce, garlic breadstick, ham and cheese wrap, tossed salad, spinach, and ice cold milk.
Happy birthday to Remy Pendry.
Don't forget your birthday. Don't forget to go by the office to keep your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Today we have a special guest. His name is Dr. Church. Welcome to Panther News.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. We have a question.
What is your job?
My job, I'm the superintendent of schools, which means I am the chief executive of the school system. I'm hired by the school board, and they set the policies and direction, but I help carry out those policies, and I work with all of the administrators and principals and all the teachers to make sure that we have a good school for our students. Thank you.
What part of your job do you like the most?
The part about the job I like the most is what I'm doing right now, is when I'm working with students, and when I get a chance to come into schools. Between now and the close of school, I hope to be in all schools and greet all teachers for the holidays, and that is probably the favorite part of my job.
And why?
Well, it's just fun. Anytime I get to work with young people, I just love it, and the paperwork and the meetings and those sort of things, I have to do them, but the fun part is when I get to be with students. Thank you.
Why did you become a superintendent?
Well, I wanted to go into administration, so I had worked as a director, so I was like a principal, and I wanted to have better influence and more influence, so I went back to school and got my credentials, so I got my license to be a superintendent, and so I did that, and then when the job here opened up, I applied and was selected, so that was why.
Do you think your job is easy or hard?
Well, it depends on the day. Most days the job is great, and I love because I get to work with young people and I get to make a difference in schools. Sometimes the hard part about my job is that sometimes I can't please everyone. You know, we have a limited amount of money that we can use to help with teacher salaries and materials and those sort of things. And so we try to do a lot with a little bit of resources. And that's the hardest part, is sometimes I have to tell people no.
How do you solve problems that happen in our schools?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. A lot of the times, the way we solve problems is not just me. I gather input from our administrators and our teachers. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a representative from here, and all the other schools come in. They're the superintendent's advisory committee, and we will pose questions, and they'll have questions and they'll have problems. And I work with a lot of different people to bring those we work together to try to solve the problems. It is very rare that I'm the person who solves the problem, but I sometimes can pull the people together who work the most with the issues. Like for teachers, for example, why would I ask the school board, for example, how do we solve problems that are happening right in the classroom? We should ask teachers and students how we should do that, and that's the input we get. So that's how we solve problems. But a good question.
What did you do before becoming a superintendent?
Well, I was an administrator. I used to work for the Department of Education, and before that, I was a teacher. And so all my professional life, since I've been 21 years old, I have been a professional in education. So this is my 33rd year in public education. So if you do the math, you can find out how old I am.
51. Where did you go to college?
Well, actually, I have 5 college degrees, so I've been a little bit of everywhere. The last ones were at Virginia Tech, so that's where I got my doctorate. It's a doctor of philosophy and education. That's why they call me doctor. But I started school, my first degree was from James Madison University, and I also went to Lynchburg College.
How long did it take you?
It took about 12 years all together. In fact, if you look at how long it took me versus sometimes how long it takes your family doctor, we were in school probably about the same amount of time. So it took a while, but not all together. So I worked and went to school. In fact, a lot of your teachers and administrators, they do that. They come and they teach you during the day, and then they work at night to further their education. And so a lot of our teachers and administrators continue to be in school all the time.
As superintendent, where have you traveled?
I'm glad you asked that. This summer, I got an opportunity to go to Finland and to Berlin, and I got to learn about what the Finnish students do and how they interact with and what they do for their students. And at Windy Gap Elementary, they're actually doing a sister school, and they're corresponding with the Finland students and Windy Gap. So hopefully maybe we can do something with Ferrum to be able to talk to those students. They do things a little differently. Right now, and here we have, it gets dark early. For them, because it's winter, it's dark most of the time. They only have a few hours of sunlight. Can you imagine being in dark all the time, only a couple hours of sunlight? Well, that's where they are right now. And it reverses in the summer. So in the summer when I was there, it's light all the time except for about 3 hours. So that was different, but I enjoyed it.
Which one was your favorite?
Well, I enjoyed Finland because it was unique. I want to go back to both Finland and Berlin because at Berlin, I didn't get a chance to go and explore like I wanted to. Didn't hear a lot about the educational system in Berlin. I heard a lot about the educational system in Finland, but I want to go back. I also want to go to China, and I want to learn about what they do in China for their educational systems, and maybe you can bring some of that back here.
What is your vision of the future for Franklin County schools?
Well, my vision is to make sure that our students have the best possible experiences. So I want them to be ready for college, if that's what they want to do. I want them to be ready for a job, if that's what they want to do. But also part of that is I want them to be a good global citizen. So part of what we do is that's why we teach in some of the things that you're doing here. We want you to take an active role in your communities, and we want you to be ready. So the more and more we work to get you ready, that's my vision, is that we're able to do that, and again, better than most people. So thank you. That was my last question? All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to come. I'm so excited to be here. Happy holidays to everyone, and we hope that, again, I can come back and see you again. I look forward to popping in your classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Church.
All right. Thank you.
That's all from the STEAM Lab. Have a wonderful Wednesday.